Have any guests today?
Yes.
Who stand and
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Mark Luca. I'm from Rockville, Pennsylvania. Thank you for having me here today.
anybody else?
Guess I would be a guest.
Okay.
Joe DeMarco, just as a local representative, represent myself. I live on Main Street Road in Bluefield, Pennsylvania. So,
Okay, do we have any, yeah, Joe DeMarco and Mark Luca, Mr. Shelton. Do we have any public comment on today's agenda items? Okay, none, I'll move on. Can we have a motion, please, to approve the minutes for September 21st, 2023?
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
Mr. Brandon,
Yes.
Mr. Herford,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis West,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Washburger,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Mr. Solicitor, do we have any items from the executive session to report?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no action items. There was an executive session and an information session that occurred before this meeting. I think we began around 11:30 and ended a little after 2. We discussed briefly the bankruptcy mediation and the bankruptcy litigation, personnel matters, and legal advice on some of the agenda items. But no action items, thank you. I have nothing further to report.
Okay, we'll have a solicitor's report. Item 8 is a request to approve the expenses by function report. We have a motion for that item, please. 8A.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brandon,
Yes.
Mr. Herford,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis West,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Washburger,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 9, the Director of Engineering report. There are several items there requesting approval. I'd like to have a motion for items A through D on the agenda. May I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make the motion.
You have a
You
second?
said D is the dog.
D.
D is in dog, sorry. I should enunciate better. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Brandon,
Yes.
Mr. Herford,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis West,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton,
Mr. Shelton?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Washburger,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item 9E, which is the purchase of some software in the amount of $58,000. May I have a motion for that item?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brandon,
Yes.
Mr. Herford,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis West,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Washburger,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is item 9F, which is a request to adopt resolutions and approve submissions for grant applications for the Pennsylvania Local Share Account Grant Program. May I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Mr. Brandon,
Yes.
Mr. Herford,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis West,
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Washburger,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 10, we have a request to approve some pension payments. I always like to see this. It just means that we have folks in our organization that have achieved that milestone and are going on to the next chapter of their lives. So it's always good to see. But it's also sad because a lot of our folks will be missed. But can I have a motion for items 10A through C?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Dr. Lewis West.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahala.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
yes,
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Mossberger.
Yes.
Ms. Whitaker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to the executive manager report. David?
I have nothing further tonight.
Thank you. Any new business? I do want to acknowledge that tonight there is one of our board members will be honored, Mr. Shelton. And, when I think of him having been on this earth as long, he's one of our elder statesmen, and I really appreciate all his efforts that he's contributed to the board and to the community. And I believe one of our, are you going to be in attendance? I think one of our board members will be able to make it, and I certainly appreciate that. And Mr. Shelton, I know you're on the phone, so
Yes.
Congratulations for all that you've done, and we really appreciate all your efforts over the many years.
thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
You're quite welcome.
So one board member?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you,
I'm going.
all right. I'm sorry.
Now I know why you're all dressed up.
Well,
You're looking good, I might add.
that's most of the time.
Most of the time? There you go.
So thank you very much, Mr. Smith, for supporting that. Do we have any old business? Okay, we're at the point of public comment. Any public comment? None? Okay. All right, that's it. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
You're quite welcome.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.